Hello, it is Thursday, April 30th, 2020, and we are going to correct our grammar today, you guys. So, we are on lesson 18, transitive active verbs and indirect objects. Indirect objects, okay? So, let's get started with number one. Mary handed me the towel and the sunscreen, okay? Mary handed me the towel and the sunscreen. Period. Now remember that indirect objects are diagrammed in a way that we're going to need that X. Okay? So, we come in here and we find our subject and our verb to begin with. Like every time you make that cross. Okay? And the subject of the sentence is Mary. Right there. And our verb is hand it. What did Mary do? She handed me the towel and the sunscreen. Oh, there we go. Hand it. Alright. So, who did she hand it to? She handed it to me. And me is an indirect object. Okay. So, under hand it, we put me. It's an indirect object. And instead of the preposition, we use the X, and we put it right there. And it looks like this. Okay. So what did she hand me? That's going to be our direct object. What did she hand me? Okay. And it is a compound direct object for the sentence. So we are going to need to move this down a little bit. Have our little line for our direct objects, compound direct objects, because she handed us two things. Okay, that's what makes it a compound direct object. She handed me a towel, is one of our direct objects. And what else did she hand me? She handed me the sunscreen. That is our another direct object. That is our other direct object, is sunscreen. Okay. Now, what is our coordinating conjunction? Our coordinating conjunction is and. Connects our two direct objects, towel and sunscreen. And on top of that, we have the, which is an adjective, modifying towel, and the, which is an adjective, modifying sunscreen. And there we have it. Mary is the subject, hand it is the verb, me is the indirect object, towel and sunscreen are compound direct objects. Okay? Direct object towel, direct object sunscreen, connected by the coordinating conjunction and. The is an adjective modifying towel, the is an adjective modifying sunscreen. Good. Let's head over to number two. Number two looks a little goofy. Let me actually knock it out. Okay? So, again, number two. The happy little girl sent her grandmother a letter. Apparently I didn't hit space. And again, since there is a direct object in this indirect object in this sentence, indirect object in the sentence, we need the X. So, come in here. We are going to do what we always do, subject and verb or verb phrase. Okay, this one's a little long, so I'm going to move this over here. Alright, so, what is the subject of the sentence? Oh, apparently I can't space anything, you guys. Let's try this again. The happy little girl sent her grandmother a letter. Period. We need our X. There we go. Alright, let's try that again. So our subject is girl. Okay. Girl is our subject. Good. What did she do? Well, she sent her grandmother something. So sent is our verb. So we found the subject and the verb. What did she send her grandmother? Real quick for our direct object. She sent her grandmother a letter. There we go. So we have our subject girl, sent verb, letter is the direct object. The sent, what is she sending? She's sending the letter. It's transferring to the letter. Now, let's take a look for what is modifying girl. Okay? The happy little girl. Okay? So these are all adjectives modifying girl. Which girl? The girl. Which girl? The happy girl. Okay? Which girl? The little girl. So we come in here. You got 3 adjectives modifying girl. Now, what is our indirect object? Our indirect object is grandmother. It's who she's sending the letter to, right? She's sending it to her grandmother. That makes it the indirect object. So for our indirect object, we kind of diagram it like a prepositional phrase. Okay? So our indirect object is grandmother. Okay? And then we have our X, which would go where the preposition would go. Oh, Lord. So here's our indirect object. I need to re-add the adjective little. Alright, what's left? Well, her is modifying the indirect object grandmother. Okay? Just like a prepositional phrase with an adjective. Send that right in here. Okay, so her is acting as an adjective. Now, the letter, what she sent a letter. Okay, so that is an adjective modifying the direct object letter. Good, that's what that one should look like. So we have girl is the subject, sent is the verb, letter is the direct object, the happy and little are all adjectives telling us about girl. Alright. Grandmother is the indirect object. It's who we sent the letter to. And her is an adjective modifying grandmother. Whose grandmother? Her grandmother, right? Okay. Letter is the direct object and is being modified by a. A letter. Okay. How many letters? A letter. Okay. Now, let's head down to number 3. Number 3, okay, is, did Chad give you his keys? Did Chad give you his keys? Now, this is a question sentence, so we're going to have to make it into a statement. Chad did give you his keys. Now we have a statement sentence. Since we're doing indirect objects, we're going to need that right there. Okay, so we are going to make our cross like we always do. Come in here. Let's diagram this. So, what is our subject? Chad is our subject. Okay, so Chad goes in the subject area. What is our verb? Give is the main verb. Did is a helping verb, so we have did give is our verb phrase. Okay, Chad did give. What did he give you? That is going to be our direct object. What did Chad give? Well, he gave you his keys. Okay, there's a direct object. Good. So, the indirect object is you. Okay? So we're going to take our little X for where a preposition would go. We'll come in here. And you is the indirect object. Who is he giving it to? He's giving them to you, right? What did he give? He gave his keys. Who did he give them to? He gave them to you. Okay? And whose keys are they? They're his keys. Making this our adjective modifying keys. Chad is the subject. Did give is the verb phrase. Keys is our direct object. You is the indirect object. And his is an adjective modifying keys. Okay, let's move on to number 4. Sentence for number 4 is, will you buy me a movie ticket? Will you buy me a movie ticket? Question mark. Will you buy me a movie ticket? Okay, so let's turn that into a statement. You will buy me a movie ticket. Period. And we're going to have our X for our indirect object. I know since you guys write that, it's a little easier. I have to put it up there though, so I can do it on the computer. And let's diagram. Same thing like we always do, make a cross. Bam. There's our cross. Let's move it over there so there's room for other stuff. Alright. So, what is the subject? You is the subject of the sentence. Okay. And what is our verb? Well, our verb is he's buying it, so buy is the main verb. Will is a helping verb, so will buy is the verb phrase for this. You will buy me this. You will buy. Okay. And what are they going to buy? What is our direct object? We're going to be buying tickets, so our direct object is ticket. Okay. Now what do we got left? Should have grabbed it from one to the other. Alright, so we have me, a, and movie are left, okay? Who are you going to buy for? They're going to buy for me. So me is our indirect object. So let's get our X over here where the preposition would go. Okay. Pull out me real quick. There we go. Okay, so that's our indirect object is me. And what type of ticket is it? It's a movie ticket. So those are adjectives modifying ticket. So if you come in here, we have you is the subject, will buy is the verb phrase, the helping verb is will, main verb is buy. Who are they going to buy it for? Well, they're going to buy it for me. That's the indirect object. What are they going to buy? Well, they're going to buy the ticket. That's the direct object. That's what the verb is transferring to. What are they going to buy? They're going to buy a ticket. And what type of ticket is it? A movie ticket. So those are adjectives modifying ticket. Alright, guys. Now, let's take a move to number 5. Last one for the day. Sharon and Paul. Paul should be capitalized. Sharon and Paul bought their cat a new collar and some catnip. Alright, this is a big one. So, we have to do our cross. But if you look at this, we have Sharon and Paul, which is a compound subject, right? We have 2 subjects. So bring it in here. So Sharon and Paul. Okay. How are they connected? They're connected by the coordinating adjective and. So that goes right here. Coordinating conjunction. I can't believe it's a coordinating adjective, you guys. By the coordinating conjunction and fanboys and. Okay. My mistake. Sorry, I misspoke. What did they do? Well, they bought something. So that is our verb. Our action word. Okay. Now, after that, we have our direct object. What did they buy? Well, they bought a new collar and some catnip. So that means it is a compound direct object. So we got a collar for the cat. Okay. And they got, come right in here, some catnip for the cat. And what connects these two? Coordinating conjunction, and that's what connects them. Throw that right there. Okay. Let's see what's left. So cat, who are they buying it for? Who do they buy it for? They bought it for their cat, right? So that would be our, oh, I can't believe I did that. Alright, I'll add that last. Okay, so they bought it for the cat, okay? So the cat is the indirect object. Okay. There is an adjective modifying cat. Right in there. Good. And they bought, what is a new? What is this? It's an adjective modifying collar. What type of collar is it? It's a new collar. Okay. So that's an adjective modifying collar. A and new. Good. Some is an adjective modifying catnip. It's telling you they bought them some catnip. Good. Now let me do this because I forgot to put my indirect object X. That gets rid of the preposition. So the preposition, we have the X right here. Good. So here is everything for this. We have compound subjects in the sentence. Sharon, Paul. There are 2 of them. That is compound subject. So Sharon and Paul. Okay, and is the coordinating conjunction. Bought is the verb. Okay, cat is the indirect object who they're buying it for. There is an adjective modifying cat. They're buying it for their cat. What are they buying for their cat? They are buying a new collar, and catnip, which is compound direct object and is a coordinating conjunction connecting this compound direct objects. A is an adjective, and new is an adjective modifying collar. Some is an adjective modifying catnip. You guys are wonderful. This is your video for tonight. I am not feeling too well. I think I'm a little sick. I hope all of you are doing really well. And I hope all of you are getting your work done and life together and keeping everything going and just keep being great, you guys. I know you are, okay? And I will see you on Monday. We have 1 week of class left. Bye.